Man, 2022 has came. It's almost over. Fast year. So many moments, so many memories. And I will, touch on some of those later on before getting out of here today. But, like I said, the year's not over yet. And things are still happening. Things are definitely still happening. For example, Tuesday night, Luka Doncic, he did something. He definitely did something that was like crazy. First player ever to drop 60 points, 21 rebounds, 10 assists in a game. Let me repeat that. 60 points, 21 rebounds, 10 assists in a game. That was Luka. And one of the most thrilling ends to a game, overtime win, just remarkable magic from Luka Doncic. To the point where I created a poll in our Facebook group. Created a poll yesterday just to have some type of feedback. 14 people responded. I appreciate all 14 people that responded to that. Basically asking, where is Luka ranked today? Is he the best player in the league? Top 2, top 3, top 5, top 10, or other? Probably meaning outside of the top 10. So I had 2 people that said top 2. No one said the best. I had 6 people that said top 3. Like, okay. 5 people that said top 5. And 1 person that said top 10. So basically, 11 people either said top 3 or top 5. So somewhere between 3 and 5 is the general consensus of where Luka Doncic is ranked right now in the NBA. And I get that. And the crazy thing about it is, here's 2 things that you should note about Luka. 1, I believe he's only 23 years old. The second is the man hardly plays any defense. So, what I'm aiming at is the ceiling for this man. I don't know where it is. Might be outer space. Between the fact that he is still young, very young, and the fact that he has room to grow on the other side of the ball. Imagine Luka doing what he's doing and shutting down his opponent's best player every night. Like, what if Luka turns into an ultimate two-way player for whatever reason? I don't see it happening, but like, what if his defense gets, better, a lot better, to where he becomes a nuisance for the other team defensively? Not saying he'll turn into Kawhi Leonard or Paul George or somebody, or Giannis on the defensive end, but what if he did enough to cause a problem to where, we just can't, the other team just can do pick and roll and isolate Luka and just go at him all the time, like they used to his first couple of years. They used to pick at that man, especially in the playoffs. We're going to attack you because you cannot stop anybody. Yeah, what if it comes to the point where they don't even want to do that anymore? I'm just saying, there's room for this man to grow. But within that triple-double, I don't know what's more impressive, the 60 points or 21 rebounds. 21 rebounds, that's a lot. We were just praising Nikola Jokic couple weeks ago for having 40 points, 27 rebounds, and I think 10 or 11 assists in the game. Like 27 is a lot. But Luka dropped 60 points. That is quite a bit with 21 rebounds and 10 assists. And if you saw the end of that game, that was phenomenal. It was 13,700 and some times in NBA history to where a team is up 9 with 33 seconds left or less in regulation, and the team that's winning by that much with that little time left was undefeated until that happened. That's insane. That is insane. So yeah, Luka is something else. I know they just unveiled Dirk's statue the other day on Christmas. And that was iconic. The fadeaway. The one leg fadeaway. Like the way Luka's going, they're going to have a second statue right next to Dirk's. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Alright, so in other news. So the Las Vegas Raiders still has a crazy scenario to make the playoffs. It's definitely a long shot here. Like, so the 6-9 Raiders, they do have a path to the playoffs. Raiders have to win out, which is this week against the 49ers, and next week against the Chiefs. Good luck with that one. But I also need a lot of help. Miami must lose out to New England and the Jets. The Steelers must lose a game to either the Ravens or Browns. The Jets would need to lose to Seattle this week. New England would need to defeat the Dolphins this week, but lose to the Bills. And also, they still need help from the AFC South. Jacksonville will either have to win the AFC South or finish 7-10 and miss the playoffs. Because if the Jacksonville Jaguars have an 8-9 record, they would have the tiebreaker over the Raiders. So, basically, if all of that happens, the Patriots and the Raiders tie for the 7th seed at 8-9, and tie in the conference record, and a tie in the conference record tiebreaker would be 6-6. So their head-to-head results determine who goes to the playoffs. And so with all of that, it would come back down to that whole Jacoby Myers ridiculous lateral pass to Chandler Jones of the Raiders, who ran over Mac Jones and scored the game-winning touchdown. That's insane. But what makes the scenario even more outlandish or ridiculous or whatever word you want to call it is the fact that the Raiders just sent Derek Carr home. They're like, you are no longer a starting quarterback for the last 2 games. Derek Carr's like, all right, I'll just step away from the team for those 2 games. So now the backup quarterback, I want to say his name is Jarrett Stidham. He is now the starting quarterback for the Raiders for the last 2 games against the San Francisco 49ers and the Kansas City Chiefs. So yeah, this pretty much is a wrap. Derek Carr could have very well have played his last game as a Las Vegas Raider. They are eligible to cut him and save a lot of money this offseason. And a perfect team that would fit his description based on recent events over the last few years would be the Indianapolis Colts, because they love taking chances on veteran quarterbacks. That's just what they love to do. So yeah, very well much see Derek Carr in a Indianapolis Colts uniform next summer, this upcoming spring. We'll see. But yeah. Also, 3-time Defensive Player of the Year winner J.J. Watt announced on Twitter, I think yesterday? I think it was yesterday morning or Tuesday. I forgot. Either Tuesday night or Wednesday morning. Basically stating that he's retiring at the end of this year. And what a career this man has had. I just know at one point in time, when he was healthy, he could do no wrong. J.J. Watt was an animal. Him and Aaron Donald caused havoc in this league like no other. JJ is that dude. To me, first ballot Hall of Famer. I know his years with the Texans wasn't, the greatest as far as success. They had a couple of hot years, but never really amounted to anything. But that's more so an organizational issue and not his. This season for the Arizona Cardinals was a dud. I mean, it was set up for failure to begin with. Because of DeAndre Hopkins missing the first 6 games, I predicted the Arizona Cardinals wouldn't make the playoffs, and looking like that's happening right now. But yeah, J.J. Watt, heck of a career. I just know he definitely gonna make the Hall, all that good stuff. He deserves it. Definitely deserves it, man. Man, oh man. Time is flying by. Also, for a second straight year, a head coach in the NFL did not make it through their first season. Last year was Mr. Grind on Me, Urban Meyer. This year is Nathaniel I Cannot Coach Grown Man Hackett. Nathaniel Hackett got fired. 4-11 start after that embarrassing loss to the Rams. Russell Wilson is still there. They still believe in Russell Wilson enough. I mean, they kind of have to by default, doing all that losing for a team that doesn't have a first-round pick. Why? Oh, we used it to acquire Russell Wilson, who just has enough touchdowns this year as the amount of bathrooms in his mansion. 12. Look, I know it's not all Russ's fault for how bad this team has played. I mean, he definitely played a part in it. But for me, I think it was more so the coaching and the lack of leadership and all of that. I think that was the main issue. And apparently, the Broncos ownership got tired of it and said enough was enough. I don't blame them. Nathaniel Hackett is probably a great coordinator, terrible head coach. Sounds like Josh McDaniels to me, but hey. I mean, the Broncos figured that out. I guess the Raiders haven't yet with Josh McDaniels, but the Broncos definitely sniffed it out like, hey, this reminds us of Josh McDaniels. Let's get this guy out of here. That's exactly, I feel like that's exactly what happened. They just can't get head coaches right. They can't do it. Ever since, what's his name? Gary Kubiak, when they won that Super Bowl with Peyton Manning. When he retired and went downhill. It happens. Jeez, that's brutal. Man, but playoffs are heating up. But we do have a Thursday night game. We have them boys traveling to Tennessee. Now, this might very well be a meaningless game for both teams. It's definitely meaningless for one, and that's the Tennessee Titans. Titans are 7-8, and no matter what the outcome of this game is, it has no effect on their playoff outcome. Why? Because Tennessee and the Jags are both 7-8. even if the Jags lose this game and the Titans win, or the Titans lose and the Jags win, it doesn't matter because they play each other the following week. That game will determine who wins the AFC South. So it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter at all who wins this game. Therefore, Derrick Henry is doubtful. I think it's like a minor rib injury or something. And I'm pretty sure he could play if they really need him to, but they don't need him to. What's the point? Why get hurt in the meaningless game when we need you for week 18? So I don't blame him. So yeah, Tennessee is not winning this game. If they did, it would be more so a failure on Dallas's part. Now Dallas, they'll need to win out and need the Eagles to lose out for them to win the division, which I don't see happening. So therefore, I believe they will be locked in the 5th seed and will end up playing the winner of the NFC South, which is still up for grabs. More than likely, it's going to be the Bucks, but still up for grabs. So yeah, there's no Tannehill, no Henry. Couple guys on defense. I don't see it happening. I don't. So yeah, right now the spread is around 12. Of course, in favor of Dallas. So yeah, Dallas probably gonna win this game just because of that. So, like I mentioned at the beginning of the show, this year is just about over, and just a couple of memories that that stuck out this year for me, because we were blessed to see some of these things that happen. So, like for example, sad moment, but Serena Williams' retirement, the GOAT, one of the best athletes, period, that ever graced this earth. She was phenomenal. I remember her and her sister coming in the late 90s with their braids and beads, just taking out competition. The Williams sisters. And then Serena just overpowered everyone. Phenomenal. The Rams and Bucks Super Bowl last year. Well, not last year, but at the beginning, back in February, that was a good game. Cooper Kupp turned Eli Apple into burnt toast, but what else is new? Dusty Baker won his first World Series championship as a manager with the Houston Astros. The World Cup itself, especially the World Cup final, that was probably the best World Cup final I've ever seen in my life. You had the NCAA tournament, like Miami's improbable run, Duke and North Carolina meeting in the tournament for the first time ever, which was also Coach K's last game. That was remarkable in the way that game went. My gosh. Warriors, Celtics, game 4. Celtics was up 2-1, leading the way with like 5 minutes left in the game, and then Steph Curry happened. Changed the whole course of the series. And then you had Tom Brady's quote-unquote retirement that lasted 45 days? So yeah, there was definitely some moments this past year. And I'm looking forward to 2023. Definitely looking forward to 2023. I know overall it's been a rough year, especially with the economy. I know everyone's going through it. A lot of this stuff sucks, man. It does. It does, but that's all right. We just gotta keep moving forward, make adjustments, continue to live life. It's not gonna be like this forever. No sense of, I guess, quote unquote, crying over spilled milk. Just make it happen. So yeah, looking forward to next year. In the sports world and just in everyday life. So yeah, so continue to rock with your boy right here, No Offense Radio and the No Offense Network. Follow me on social media at JGoodWithSports, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Saturday on New Year's Eve, we do have a show on the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast with my bros Brandon and Ian, as we make our NFL picks, but also probably more detail, just go back and talk about the biggest moments in sports, like I kind of just mentioned there, but more detail. And on New Year's Day, we will have a Destination Fantasy podcast, fantasy football driven. That week in most leagues is Championship Sunday. So we're going to get the people prepared for the championship games, for the ones that made it. So yeah, fantasy football season is just about over, just that quick. But yeah, so I'm out. Happy New Year. Hope you all, be safe. Don't do anything too crazy. Enjoy your loved ones. But until next year, peace.